my name is Anna and I would like to welcome you to Basic Yoga. Today we're going to spend 30 minutes focusing on just some basic foundational yoga poses, just an easy flow, and we're going to spend a lot of time working on some balancing postures and then a lot of good stretches towards the end. So if you're ready, unroll your yoga mat and get ready to join me for class. Now we'll need a few props today. I suggest a towel or a small blanket for your knees if you ever feel like you need a little more cushion for your knees in any of our kneeling poses. A block. If you've seen any of my other videos, you can always make yourself a block from a couple of books stacked together with a towel wrapped around them if you don't have a foam yoga block, and then a strap or a long belt or a scarf will serve as your yoga strap. That being said, let's push our props off to the side and get ready to practice. I'm going to guide you through a child's pose. If you don't like child's pose, or if you find this uncomfortable, just come to an easy seated cross-legged pose. So in child's pose, we're going to bring our knees out nice and wide as is comfortable for you. And this is where you'd use your towel or blanket under your knees if you feel like you need cushion. Your big toes are touching behind you and you're sitting on your heels. You can even stay right here, or if you'd like, walk your hands forward and bring your forehead and forearms to rest on the mat, like that. You can also use your block under your forehead if that's a little too deep for you. So once you're in your child's pose or your easy cross-legged seated pose, let's take a deep inhale, filling up the lungs, maybe holding at the top for a few seconds, and exhaling out. Inhale and exhale. Make these inhales as long as the exhales are, taking them nice and long, slow and deep. Breath in and breath out. If you're in child's pose, every time you let that exhale out, see if you can sink lower towards the mat, just melting onto the mat. Child's pose is a great way to come down to a resting pose, take a few breaths, and then meet back up with us wherever we're at. If you would like to try some Ujjayi breathing, what we do is we seal up our lips, inhale through the nose, keeping the lips sealed, we exhale through the nose. Breath in with your lips sealed and breath out with your lips sealed. That's the breath that we keep going when we flow. If at any point you feel that you are getting winded and you need to relieve some heat, go ahead and open mouth and exhale out. So taking one more round of that Ujjayi breathing, and when you're ready, slowly come to a tabletop position. So we're on all fours here. Fingers are spread out nice and wide, wrist, elbow, and shoulders in a straight line. Back is flat, knees are right under the hips. This is your tabletop. This is another great resting pose. On the inhale, let's drop our belly as our gaze goes up towards the sky, cow pose. Exhale, round into your spine, bring your chin into your chest, push the mat away from you, cat pose. Inhale for cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. And exhale, cat. Coming back to a neutral tabletop. Inhale that right arm up towards the sky and thread the needle. So we bring that right arm under the left armpit, drawing it through as far as we can, bringing our right shoulder and our right temple to the mat. You can always have the block waiting for your temple right here. Your left hand stays right next to the face. You can try walking it forward if you like, or you can even bind behind your lower back and kind of twist those shoulders to stack one on top of the other. On your next inhale, let's raise that right arm back up towards the sky. Give it a stretch and place it down on the mat, right under your shoulders. Inhale, left arm up, thread the needle on this side. So we loop it through under that right arm, bringing the left shoulder and left temple to the mat, or left temple can rest on a block. Play around with your arm positioning here. Each side is going to offer you something different. So if you're happy with your right hand next to your face, that's perfectly fine. If you want to try stretching it forward, or maybe binding behind your lower back and twisting open on this side. Taking one more breath, and then raise that left arm back up towards the sky and place it down on the mat. One more round of cow pose and cat pose. On your next breath, curl your toes over and let your hips come up and press you back, downward facing dog. So we're pushing the mat away with our palms in the mat. Our tailbone and our hips are high, reaching towards the back of the mat, and you're on the balls of your feet right now. No need to try to drop your heels to the mat just yet. So if you're feeling that your wrists are starting to feel this pose, walk your feet forward a step. This way you can push away, lift the hips, and get all the tension out of your wrists. Once you're here, maybe you take turns bending into one knee and then the other. Maybe bending them both at the same time, turning your head right and left, just starting to warm up and notice what the body is feeling today. And then coming to stillness. On your next inhale, look forward toward the front of your mat, soften your knees, and take a few steps to get to the front of your mat. Come to a halfway lift. Fold as you exhale. We're going to grab opposite elbows with opposite hands and frame our head, coming into a ragdoll. So you're going to soften the knees, let your weight come forward just a little bit. Maybe you sway side to side in your ragdoll. Maybe you want to try hugging the backs of your knees to draw your chest forward. Maybe you want to interlace your fingers behind your lower back, raising them towards the sky to get a little bit more of a stretch through your shoulders. And then go ahead and release your hands. Come back to that halfway lift. Remember, we never press on our knees in halfway lift. Your hands can be on your shins or your thighs. Fold. Soften your knees and slowly rise up one vertebrae at a time. Head comes up last, reaching fingertips high, mountain pose. Exhale and fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Fold as you exhale. Soften your knees and slowly rise up, reaching high. This time we're going to tee out our arms and look over our right hip. So both hip bones are facing forward, but the shoulders are teed out and we're looking towards the right. Inhaling back to center, reaching high. Exhale, twisting left, keeping shoulders forward. Inhale back to center. Exhale and fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Fold as you exhale. Last time, rise up for mountain pose, reaching high. Tee out your arms, twist to the right. Inhale back to center, twist to the left. Inhale back to center, and exhale and fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Plant your hands in the mat and step back to your down dog as you exhale. Inhale as you lower your knees to hover just about 3 inches off the mat. This is your turbo dog. Your core needs to be working here to protect your lower back. Tops of your thighs are feeling this. Go ahead and shoot forward, coming into your high plank. So nice long arms, wrists directly under shoulders. Tailbone comes down. Belly button is pulled up. And we're pressing back through the heels. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, push back, downward facing dog. So that's the transition, that's the vinyasa we'll be using today between our sequences. On your next inhale, soften your knees, look forward, and step to the front of your mat. Halfway lift, inhale, fold as you exhale. Soften your knees and slowly roll up, one vertebrae at a time. You see I have a chair in front of me. I should have cued you to grab a chair before you start your practice. And let's make sure that 2 of the legs are on the mat so it doesn't slip away from you. This is going to be there in case you need a little help in your balance. So inhaling, arms up. I'm going to bring my big toes to touch, my knees to touch for chair pose. If this doesn't feel good for your knees, you can keep a small space between both legs. I'll keep mine together. We're going to inhale our arms up and sit back in our chair. So right here, I've got a deep bend in my knees, my hips are pulling back, and then the tailbone tucks under. We don't want to shoot it way back out. So you don't have to go super low, just try to get that tailbone under. Look down, make sure your knees are not in front of your feet, and make sure you can give your toes a little bit of a wiggle. This is your chair pose. Taking one more breath in and fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Let's step back, high plank, down dog as you exhale. Inhale to turbo dog. Exhale, high plank. Take a breath in, downward facing dog. Inhaling up to your toes, and exhale, release it. On your next inhale, look towards your hands and step to the front of the mat. Halfway lift, inhale, fold as you exhale. I'm going to move this chair out of my way for now. Plant your hands in the mat, and you're going to step your left foot back, coming down to your knee. Top of the foot's on the mat, and come up for your kneeling warrior. So, knee is stacked over the ankle, and you're just nice and tall, okay? If you can reach, and that feels fine for your shoulders, that's great. Otherwise, you can rest your hands on the top of your right thigh. Kneeling warrior. Take a breath in and breath out. On the next inhale, let's take that twist again. So tee out the arms, hips are forward, looking over to the right side, staying for just a breath. On your next inhale, coming back to center. Stay as you exhale. On your next inhale, let's curl our toes and rise up. High lunge. So the back heel is lifted. Nice strong leg. You can keep a soft bend in that knee. Generous bend in this right knee, making sure it doesn't pass your right foot. Breath in and sink. Breath out. Inhale, and let's take that twist again to the right. Exhale. You're going to feel the challenge on your balance here. Inhaling back to center, high lunge. Exhale, warrior 2. So in warrior 2, our front toes are facing the front of the mat. Our back foot is parallel to the back of the mat. Hips are facing the left now. So we have our arms teed out and peel those shoulders away from your ears. Breath in, breath out. Inhale and sink. On your next breath, flip that front palm over, reach forward and overhead. Reverse warrior. So trying to stay tall, not caving our chest forward. This right hand is reaching behind you. Taking one more breath in here, we're going to windmill our arms around, resting our right elbow on our right knee. Extended side angle. So your left hand is reaching up high, stacking the shoulders, again, not caving in forward. For those of you that have a practice and you're familiar with extended side angle, you know that you can take your fingertips to the mat here. Or if you want to try going a little deeper but you're not quite ready to reach the mat, maybe you have your block waiting for your hand right there. Either way, find the extended side angle that works for you. Taking just one more breath here, we're going to bring our hands to the mat and step back, downward facing dog. Inhale to that turbo dog. Exhale, plank, downward facing dog. Take a breath in, up to the toes. Exhale, drop your heels. Take as many breaths here as you want and meet up with me when you're ready. On your next inhale, let's look towards our hands and slowly walk to the front of the mat. Come to a halfway lift as you inhale. Fold, exhale. Planting the left foot in the mat. This time we're going to step the right foot back and come to our right knee. Top of the right foot's on the mat, and we come up for our kneeling warrior. So maybe you just need to focus on your balance here in kneeling warrior, because this by itself can be a challenge. But you want that nice tall spine. Maybe your arms reach up if you're ready. Take a breath in and breath out. On your next inhale, we're going to twist open to the left as you exhale. So here's your challenge. Just focus on one little thing in the room that's not moving in front of you. That's your drishti point. Inhale back up to center. Stay as you exhale. On your next inhale, curl those right toes and rise. Crescent lunge, right? So each side is going to feel different. Feel what this side is telling you. Keep that back heel lifted. We're squared off and tall right over our hips. Breath in and twist it out again. Breath out. Woo. Back up to center. Take a breath in and open warrior two. So our hips are to the right, front toes facing forward, back foot is parallel to the back of the mat. Teeing out those shoulders. If at any point your shoulders start to bother you, you know you can always bring your hands to rest at heart center. Sometimes I like to just crisscross them behind my lower back. That feels really good on my shoulders. Take a breath in and sink. On your next inhale, flip that front palm, reach forward, up and over, reverse warrior. Staying tall, trying not to cave that chest in forward. On your next breath, windmill those arms around, coming to that extended side angle, right? So you still have your warrior feet in place. Your left elbow is resting on that left knee, shoulders are stacked, and your gaze follows that right hand up towards the sky. Maybe this side is going to allow you to reach for the mat or have that block ready for you to rest your fingertips on the block. Take a breath in and breath out. On your next inhale, twist forward, resting your hands on the mat, and step back to your down dog. Here comes that transition, so inhale, turbo dog, hold it strong, high plank. Take a breath in, downward facing dog. Inhale up to your heels, exhale. That was inhale up to your toes, exhale to your heels, sorry about that. On your next inhale, look forward, bend into your knees, and slowly walk towards the front of your mat. Come to a halfway lift as you inhale, fold as you exhale. Bend your knees and slowly roll up, nice and slow. So we're going to work on a little bit of balance here. So this is where your chair comes in handy, right at the front of the mat, two legs on the mat so it doesn't slip away from you. So, first balance. We're going to come into what's called a figure four. So I'll face you. You can either have the chair to your side or right in front of you. Just see what works best for you. So you're just going to stand up nice and tall, ground that left foot into the mat. Control your abs. This is controlling the movement. Going to hinge that right leg up. So maybe you just want to try standing. Focus on that drishti point. Don't scan the room with your eyes. This is a balance challenge right here in and of itself. Or you can take that right ankle over the left knee and sit back in your chair pose. Now I'm starting to wobble. Sit back in your chair, right? Flex that right foot to protect your knee. So if the chair is next to you or in front of you, you can reach for it for a little help. Just focus on that one stationary object. See how low you can sink those hips. It's a great stretch for your outer right hip. And when you're ready, release. One more side. So standing up tall, grounding the right foot in. I'm gonna lever up that left leg. So maybe you stay and practice your balance here, or coming into figure 4, left ankle over right knee, and we sink back. Have your chair ready if you need it for help. Flex that left foot. See how deep you can take this. Enjoy that nice stretch through the outer left side of your hip. And when you're ready, release. Alrighty, coming into warrior 3. So one more of these one-legged things, right? Maybe you've had enough already, but they're just a great way to improve your balance. Just doing a few balancing poses, maybe every day, you'll be able to hold them longer and longer before you know it. So, reaching arms up high, raising that right knee. Maybe you stop right here, or we open up to warrior 3. So we're making a capital T with our body, looking down at the mat. Arms are either reaching out in front of you, hands at heart center, or you can have your hands resting on your left thigh, flexing through that right heel. If you need the chair in front of you, just a gentle resting of the wrists on the chair will give you all the support you need. Stay as long as you like, and when you're ready, come on up. One more side, warrior 3 here. Reaching arms up, left knee comes up, and we make that capital T. Gaze down at the mat, find where your arms are comfortable. My left hip always wants to roll open when I'm here, so make a conscious effort to level off both of your hips. Use the chair if you like. Taking one more breath, and release. One more side, one more pose. We're coming into tree. So again, have that chair right next to you. We're gonna ground the left foot into the mat, okay? And the right foot, either toes on the mat as a kickstand. The foot can rest on the inside of the shin, or you can even bring it to the inside of your inner thigh, but never on your knee. That's the only place your foot should never be resting, okay? We don't wanna push on that knee joint. So set up your tree legs. Maybe you're using the chair, maybe you're not, but come up nice and tall out of your hips, and as you inhale, grow your branches. Keep your shoulders peeled away from your ears. Keep some distance between your shoulder blades. Find that drishti point, that focal point that's not moving. Stare into it. Hold your tree as long as you like, or even close your eyes. When you're ready, release. One more side here. So we're grounding the right foot in, right? We either set up that kickstand for our tree, rest your foot on the outer shin, the inner shin, inner thigh, but never the knee. Once you've set up your tree leg, come up nice and tall out of your hips. Inhale, and grow your branches. When you're ready, release. If you brought your chair onto the mat, go ahead and move it away. We're going to move our props to the center of our mat so that we can grab them when we're coming down to stretch, okay? So meet me towards the middle or front of your mat. Inhaling those arms up. Exhale and fold. Keep the left foot planted. Bend the right knee, plant the right hand in the mat, and raise the left arm up. Twist and stretch. Switching it out, bending into the left knee, left palm on the mat, right arm twists open. And release. And when you're ready, help yourself to a seated position on the mat. So we're going to slowly work our way down to our back. Coming into a reclined figure 4. Okay, so just like we did it standing, we can do it on our backs. So left knee is bent, right ankle over left knee. You're going to reach through, grab a hold behind your left thigh, and pull both legs forward towards your chest, flexing both feet to protect your right knee. So if you can't really reach behind your left thigh, this is where you would grab your strap, loop it behind your left thigh, and then use that to draw both legs closer towards your chest. So go ahead and hold this as long as you like. This is a great finishing stretch for your hips. One more side. So we're going to bend the right knee, left ankle over right knee, draw the legs up, grab a hold behind that right thigh, and pull the legs in a little bit more. Flexing both feet, helping that left knee open out towards the side. Use your strap if you can't reach behind your right thigh here. Just be gentle. Listen to what your body is telling you it wants or doesn't want. Help it stretch and release tension, never causing injury. And go ahead and release. You can set your strap off to the side, bringing our block a little closer and bringing our knees over our hips. Feet are flexed towards the front of the mat into a 90-degree angle, tabletopping the legs. We're going to tee out the arms and take a gentle roll towards the left, and our gaze goes to the right. So if my right shoulder is pulling up off the mat, I'm going to take my block and sandwich it between my knees. If you're not using the block and you want to deepen this stretch, you're going to take your left hand, rest it on top of both knees, and just draw it down to the ground, just gently, not pulling too hard. Just a little bit of weight deepens this stretch. When you're ready, come on back to center with those tabletop legs and roll to the right. Decide if you're using your block here, or if you don't need it, you can rest your hands, your right hand on top of both knees. Gaze goes over that left hand. Left shoulder is grounded. When you're ready, come back to center. Draw your knees into your chest. Bring your forehead into your knees. Squeeze everything into a tight little happy yoga ball. Closing your eyes, pursing your lips, and release. If you have any final stretches you want to incorporate from any of my other videos or from your own practice, go ahead and take as much time as you like. Otherwise, I'm going to set you up for our final resting pose, our Shavasana. Corpse pose, excuse me. So we're going to get comfortable on the mat. So arms and legs can be stretched out wide, or maybe give yourself a little hug, or just rest your hands at your side with your palms facing up. Take a deep breath in, open mouth, and exhale out. Inhale and exhale. I'm going to let you stay in Shavasana for as long as you like. I've taken us up to the end of class time, so I just want to remind you that your practice is always your own. Make it specific to what your body needs. Practice for as long or as little as you like, as often as you like, and watch your practice grow. It's all about the mind, the body, and the soul. It's not just a physical practice. So please remember that the light and love in me will always honor the light and love in each of you. Let's bring our thumb knuckles to our forehead, bow forward, and seal our practice by wishing one another namaste.